Hi everybody, Robert Jones here with StruggleSoup, and one of my favorite passions in life is to preserve cookbooks and other materials, but more specifically cookbooks. And today I wanted to show you how I do it. Today I have a small cookbook here. We have here Betty Crocker's Cakes Kids Love. It's a little tiny book. You can see here it's very thin. It even has some glow coat advertising on the back. I like to show these books from the past. They're kind of rare, they're hard to find, and they're slowly disappearing. So as I find them, I like to scan them and Photoshop them, and then I put them on archive.org as time permits. This one is really great. You can see here it's a panda cake. It's a whole bunch of stuff. This one is from 1976, originally printed in 1969. It basically shows you how to take a cake and cut it accordingly. Obviously the panda is not really hard. Why they didn't bake it in a round pan, I don't know, other than maybe they used the ears. But it does all kinds of stuff here. So with cakes today, they're crazy. They do all kinds of cake stuff, but in the cakes of yesteryear, these were simple things that people could do at home, moms, dads, whatever. And I think I had a couple of these growing up myself. Okay, so let me show you how I, first we're going to clean this. You can see here it's got some goobies, and I'll show you what I do to clean that. And then we will disassemble the book. It's just simple staples. And then I will show you how to scan it and then Photoshop it. And then hopefully I can even go through the process of putting it on archive. If this runs too long, I might make a separate video about how to do that one. But so let's get started with Cakes Kids Love. Alright, so I just have our book here, and I just have a cloth that I'm just moistening the tip of, because I believe that this stuff will come off of here. If it doesn't, we can do this first of all. So I have a letter opener that I use, and it's pretty good. Sometimes you can scratch off, especially in this case, it looks like it's frosting or cake. So we'll try to get the big parts off. See there? Actually, that's getting a lot of stuff off there. Okay, and then you can take just a lightly moistened towel, and we'll just try to clean up any last residuals. Makes for scanning and photoshopping. You can see there, it's a little bit of gook. And we'll try the back. Oftentimes the backs are pretty dirty because they're the ones that take the brunt of sitting around on countertops and such. Okay, so I don't want to get it too wet because I don't want to deteriorate the paper. So there you go, you can see it's pretty good. Okay, so the next step I do is open it up. In this case, it's simple staples. Here it is. Now, oftentimes these staples, especially if the book is folded and it has an air gap and it's in a humid place, like right now I am in Monterey, California, and it's by the ocean, so there's a lot of humidity, and you can also see the salt has attacked it. Now, there is a risk when you do this and they are rusted, sometimes they break. So that's just how it is. All right, so I'm just slipping this under here, and then I just turn it, and I just try to bring it up to 90 degrees so that I can pull it out. And again, turn it. And I don't know if you can see, but there's actually some rust residue coming off. These are pretty good staples. Sometimes they're super thin and cheap and they break easily. You can also see on this one, can you see that? This one is long and this one is short. So just something to remember when we put it back. All right, then I flip it over, and then I just take out the staples carefully. This is a great tool. It's a letter opener, but you can find other tools that you like. And take this one out. I try to do it carefully to not break the staples. So there you go. There's the staples. Can you guys see those? Staples and book. All right, I'll set these aside. And I try to keep them in the order they were in the book. And then clean up anything there is. And sometimes this rust residue will come off as well. This is a labor of love. It's all about patience. All right, and then you can see we have these great small sheets, the cut sheets of how they were printed. Now, you could fold them and scan them each individually like this, But since these are small enough to fit on my scanner and the middle page is full, no big deal. I think for preservation, I think it's perfectly fine to just scan the cut sheets. People can figure out what the page numbers are. Now, if I want to get crazy and I'm going to put it on archive and I want to make a book, I will. I can take those cut sheets then and I can Photoshop them in half as they are if I want, or I could scan them, but that's going to take an extra long time. So, all right, let's go to the scanner. All right, so before we go to the scanner, I'm going to see if I can do some screen record of what it actually looks like to do this, but I will show you what it looks like on the scanner as well. All right, let's do it. Okay, we're over here at the desktop and I am just showing you that I am opening up the scanner program. I use the HP Solution Center. It takes a little bit. If you guys are using the HP, you'll know it's a little hinky, but once it gets going, it does a good job. So I'm just selecting the 300 DPI and opening the software here. Okay, now it's going to scan. I'm going in real time here so you guys can see what it actually takes to do this. This entire video in real time was about 1 hour and 45 minutes, and you'll know why. Okay, so we've done the scan, and now I'm going to be choosing to open it up so you guys can see it bigger. There you go. All right, now I'm just going to rotate it to the left. Now, I'm just showing you can do this inside the software, and then after that I don't do it anymore because I do it all at the end at the same time. Now, I am hunting and pecking because I've lost my place. There we go. Okay, and I just have to change the settings on mine. Your scanner may be different, so when I hit 0, I then get the scan. And then I hit OK, and it saves it, and then I go into the next one. So I'm just putting the new one on the glass, which I'll show you in a minute how that works. So here's what it actually looks like in real time on the glass. Just put it in there. Yeah, I wish this process was faster. This type of scanner is about 10 years old, although this one is brand spanking new. I just got it about 2 months ago. This is just the speed it works at. And I'm just going to flip and do it again. Now you know why the cut sheets I like, because it can do 2 pages at a time. Alright, now I'm just speeding this up so you can see the process go faster. There you go. Okay, so this is back on the screen. I'm just showing you in real time, not real time. This is 4 times faster. 4 times faster. Just showing you that I'm actually scanning all the pages. It's a labor of love. You'll notice that I'm not turning them each time, and now we're doing 8 times faster. And the next process will show how to churn those all at the same time. You can use Windows Media to do that instead. Doing it one by one just adds more time to the process. Okay, so now here I'm going to show you how to turn one. You can use the Windows Photo Gallery to do this process, or the next process we'll show you is how to do them all at the same time. So if you just go down here to there, click on it, and it turns it to the left or the right. You can see that. Okay, so now if you want to do them all at the same time, you can click on the first one, then you click on the last one, and then you can turn them all at the same time, which saves a lot of time. There we go.
And then what I do is I go through and I check to make sure I got all of the pages. You can see a little friend alert there. Yay! And I go through to make sure that I got all the pages. This one doesn't have that many pages. I think there's, what, 16 pages here. I just make sure that I get them all, because if I'm going to put the book back together, I want to make sure that I've scanned them all and I don't have to take the book back apart again. So that's what we're doing here. And I recommend this with everything you do. Always check before you put it back together. You can see the page numbers there. All right, on to the next part.
Okay, so now that we have finished scanning these, we can put the book back together. This will be going on sale on Amazon for me because I'm trying to reduce my population, and these are quite popular. So I want to put it back together as best I can as it was. So if you remember, this paperclip here, if you guys can see that, there it is. This paperclip here was at the top with the small end at the top. So the way I do this is I take paperclip. It's not a paperclip, it's a staple. Okay, I take it like this. I fold the book back together how it was, and then I'll put the big end in the hole. Oh no, insert joke. Sometimes you have to wiggle jiggle to get it in there. And then take the small end. I hope you guys can see that. Stick it in there. Press it through. Sometimes it goes easy. When they're rusty, sometimes not so easy. Alright, why are you being a pain? Sometimes if you fold it back, realign. There we go. You can see through there. Alright, and then I can push this one with my finger because it's small. Then I use my letter opener to carefully close it back up because I don't want to break it. Like I said, it's rusted. Alright. Another staple is here. Go through the same process. I always find it's easier to do the one on the inside first. Just experience. And then work towards the outside, because then you're working towards your hand and not in against your hand. Sometimes, like I said, when they're rusty, they don't go in smoothly. Just have to be patient. There we go. Alright, that one's through. Use my letter opener to smash it shut. And be careful with these rusty ones. Don't poke yourself. Alright, there you go. You can see back together, good as new. And the book is either ready for your shelf, or if you're going to sell it like I am, it's going to go back on Amazon. So, or not back on Amazon, it's going to go on Amazon. So, all right, that's good to go.
Okay, so I am opening up Photoshop to show you guys how I process each page on here. The first thing we do is just drag and drop it over, let Photoshop open it, and then what we want to do is we want to straighten out the cut sheet. So I use the ruler tool. You can click it on one side, stretch it across the top. I will zoom in a little bit there so I can get a better line, and then hit rotate, do the arbitrary, and it will go to 0, which is what we want. I like mine to be straight across. You can choose how you want to balance it. Sometimes I do it on the actual cut of the page. This one looks pretty straight. Sometimes I do it on the lettering, because that's most important. Now, what I'm going to show you here is if you click it and you do a dropper of white, you see that it doesn't fill everything. It makes kind of a mess. There's not enough contrast. Plus, we've got the scanner lines here, and you see that it looks choppy and nasty, and I don't really like that. So what I'm going to choose to do on these is I'm going to use the selector tool. I think it's called the hexagon selector tool or something. Polygon, maybe it's polygon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in, and then I'm going to click all the way around the photo. Now, I'm doing this one in real time so you can see what a process it is. Again, this is a labor of love. This is because I want it to look nice. You can select a rectangle and do that, but I think it looks like hell. And personally, I try to preserve this as close to what it actually looks like as possible. I do some corrections along the way. Do some corrections along the way, but for this, I tried to get exact as possible. You'll see we're pretty far zoomed in here. Each one of those little cubes is a pixel, and it allows me to get closer in here. You can see there's a dent here that I'm showing you that we'll go back and fix a little bit. So continuing just to select along the edges here. This just takes time and practice. I've been doing it for years, so I'm pretty fast at it, but I am kind of going slow here so you can see what I'm doing. And then as we go through more pages, I'll go faster and faster because you'll understand the process already. Again, right here is where the scanner line is. What that is it's from the glass. It shows where the automatic feeder is. I wish it didn't do that, but that's how the scanner is designed. Continuing along. And I'm trying to pick a line that is approximately where the book is. And you'll see here, this is where the fold is. And so the corners have been rounded, and so you get that V when it's opened. And so I try to be as close to exact as I can when I go along there. It is an art. You have to just practice and see what looks best for you. Again, I try to preserve the book as it is. Decisions. What you'll also see along here is you'll see some speckles, you'll see some dirt, you'll see some water stains, you'll see some cake, some frosting, all kinds of stuff. Maybe even just a bit of mold here and there. Of course, then we have tanning, which is just oxidation of the paper deteriorating. And depending on what you're scanning, it could be pretty severe. This one's pretty good. I chose this as a first project because it shows enough of what it is to want to clean up and things like that, but it also shows pretty straight edges. So this is from 1976. Printing was pretty good back in the day, although the paper is usually kind of crap because the United States was going through a recession, and so everybody was getting cheap on things. But for the most part, this is held up pretty good, especially being in a city. This is from Monterey, California, along the ocean. As I mentioned earlier about the rusting, paper also deteriorates over time. So you can see some more smudges and things they'll probably want to take care of. And some creasing, showing you that there. In case you're wondering, I'm using a program called Screenomatic. I'm using the free version because this is the first time I've used it. It's only 18 bucks a year, so I'm thinking I might go ahead and get it because it seems to be working pretty cool. Oh, sorry, Screencast-O-Matic. You see it down there in bottom left. Okay, and again, we're at the fold line, so I'm being a little more careful. And then we'll get back out on the straightaway again. I promise this does get faster. This is a great kind of project for watching TV or listening to YouTube videos as I do. I learn about all kinds of stuff while I'm concentrating on the actual work here. Okay, and we should be coming back up to the corner here pretty soon, and then we connect. Yeah, you'll see a little 0 or O pop up, and then got it. Phew. Okay, so there we got that. Now, I have a little formula set up already. I'm going to show you that, and it's going to bingity bong, and it's going to be done. But when we go to the next one, you'll see I call it Action 3. When we go to the next one, I believe that I will show you exactly what Action 3 is doing, all the steps involved in that. You can do that and record it, and then you'll just put it in your rules there, and it goes. So now I'm just going to zoom in, and I'm going to clean up a little of the spots. Depending on what you're doing, if you're putting this on Amazon, if you're going to sell your book, you probably want to make two versions as I do. So what I did here is I actually saved it after I cut it out and had the white background. I saved a version of what it actually looks like because people on Amazon want to know exactly what they're buying. And I totally understand that. Now, for preservation purposes, I'm going through here and I'm just using the spot healer, and I'm just fixing little pockets here and there, dust pieces, dirt, scrapes, things like that. I'm not getting crazy, just trying to bring it back to the original a little bit more so that it looks nice and people enjoy it more. I generally try to go for the things that are standing out to me. I don't need to fix every scratch or whatever, although I am being a little bit picky here. It's up to you. The type of preservation that you're doing or what the material is, you may want all the bumps and scrapes, or in this case, I'm just healing it up a little bit so that we can enjoy the actual cookbook. Sometimes I correct printing mistakes. There'll be bubbles of ink or something like that. Sometimes I don't, depending on, again, what it is. Now, if you're finding that this is a little boring for you, you can skip ahead. I'm going to go into fast motion in a little bit, but I wanted to show you at real time what this process actually looks like, and so that you can be patient with yourself. And you'll see there is a printing mistake. Oh, got it. You can do this at your own pace, however you like to do it. And again, this page is the cover, so generally the cover is the one that takes the brunt of dirt and smudges and scrapes. The other pages, there'll be a lot less to do on them. And here you can see that I am saving it so that we have an original and a much cleaner version. So there you go. We've got an A and a B, or a regular and an A. This is just me checking stuff. So when I zoom out, I look for things that catch my eye, like a little brown spot there, little brown spot there. Okay, so back to this wound we talked about earlier. In this case, I'm taking it out, but that's why I saved the other one, because if I'm going to put it on Amazon, people are going to want to know that it's got a dent there. If you like this type of video and you want to go faster, there is an option on the YouTube player. You can put it at 1.5 times or 2 times play, or you can just zoom ahead. I am kind of loving this screencast-o-matic. I have been wanting to do this kind of project and this kind of video for a long time, so actually getting to do it finally is very exciting. This one may be a little bit rough, as this is the first time I'm doing it, so hang with me. If you have suggestions, I'm also open to that. I think this is a great kind of training video. I love to do teaching in the kitchen as well. You guys know that already. But this type of preservation for cookbooks or other printed materials really is a passion of mine. Been doing it for, wow, do I dare say about 18 years already? Wow, that's crazy. Maybe even longer, depending on. Anyway, we'll get better at it. I hope you'll hang out with me. If you have projects you want to see how to do, or if you have suggestions about what I'm doing that I could do better, I'm open for that. This is a crease crack that I just tried to get a little bit better. I'm not going to get crazy and get into letters and everything else, but the parts that were easy, if you've used Photoshop, you know some things are easy and some things are not easy. Just a little bit of OCD going on here. Putting the glow back in glow coat. Be like the movie guy, putting the glow back in the glow coat. Do, do, do. Want to sing along. All right, I think we're almost getting there, if I remember correctly about this. It's amazing to me, looking at this, how far cake decorating has come since 1976. Do it at home, 2 different colors, slap some licorice on there, and you're good to go. Now we have Cake Wars and Cake Pops and Nailed It and all these other kind of shows that are all about this, but this is funny. I can remember seeing books like this growing up, and my dad loved to do the cakes, so got to choose there. All right, I think we are saving. We might be done with that one. Yay! Now I'm just showing you the difference. Maybe you can see the difference, maybe you can't see the difference between the two, the one that was regular versus the one that was fixed. That's what I'm trying to show you right here. Like I said, not quite used to using this program yet, but we'll get better at showing you guys. All right, let's close that up. Now you can see it at double the speed. Again, if this is boring to you, or if you already understand this process, you can skip ahead. I'm doing exactly the same thing as I did in the other one. This one's a little bit easier since it's not the cover. It has less dings and cracks and such, so I'm able to go a little bit faster and also show it a little bit faster because there's not that much to show. Again, watch the crack. And then going around the scan lines. And then the shadow on the far right is always a challenge for me, but usually pick a little bit of the shadow, but not too much. All right, now we've done it there. So now I'm just going to click on that and bibbity bobbity boo. There you go. Now do a little bit of cleanup, and I promise, I think it is the next part where I show you how to do what the formula is actually doing. Or as I call it, Action 3. Action 3 is my white outline, and I have another one that I use for Amazon products, and that's Action 4 because I put a black border on it. So it's the same thing, just black versus white. Do you like to correct things like this? I sure do. I love to make it look nice. Not necessarily new, but take out some of the aging so that when you can go and look at this artwork, not only the recipes, but the artwork as well, it looks nice. I don't know what I did there, but that's why I spend time doing this, taking out these little dirt spots. Somebody spent time and effort. I wonder how they got the job to do the artwork for this. It's always curious to me. This one's kind of a watercolor look. Sometimes they're very detailed, especially in magazine recipe pictures from the 40s and 50s drawings. All right, now I'm saving that. So we're going on to the next one. Now I'm going even faster. I think this is 4 times speed, it said there. You can see I'm pretty zoomed in here, the pixel lines, but I find that it really does make it easier to pick out the lines to click on to select, if you will. And the V is not too bad. As we get more into the middle of the book, the pages are more defined and less bumped and scraped. And going over the scan lines there, the automatic feeder. You can see a little bubble there. This one's pretty straightforward. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I do this. So the first thing you do is you select the inverse of what you've selected. So we've selected the inside of the page. Now when we hit select inverse, what it's going to do is it's going to select everything that's not the page. So you'll see the dancing ants go around the page and around the outside of the page. And the area in the middle is what we're now going to click and fill. So I fill this with white. So this is what the action that I did there on the side does. So now we click and it all turns white. So now we're going to reverse select it again so it's just the page. You can do that, right click, inverse, and then we're going to go up to the top to select, and we're going to modify and expand. And what I do is I use a 20 pixel expansion, so it's going to go out from the page 20 pixels but still be selected, and boom, you'll see it's outside there. And then I clip it and cut it out, and there you go. So that's exactly what the Action 3 does. It's just that I have the little program set up there, so it does it all. You can record your own little programs that you like and put them in there. It's just a time saver. So there you go. That's what that does. All right, so we're going to continue on with the rest of the pages here. Oh, somebody's getting crazy next door. All right, you can see it's exactly the same process, just going a little bit faster. All right, you guys, I got interrupted right here. I was just about ready to get into this, and then all of a sudden, boom, we had an earthquake. And it was 6 o'clock in the morning while I was doing this, and so I thought I would make a little banner to show people on Facebook what was going on. So here you go. Here's a slight interruption. That's the Monterey Bay there, in case you're wondering, and we just had a 4.2 earthquake. If you want to learn how to make little things like this, I could show you how to do it, but I just thought I'd leave it in here because it was funny that it was recording while I was doing it, and I thought I could change it or cut it out, but heck, what the heck, just leave it in here. So yeah, the blue box is where I'm currently living, and the red dot you see on the far right is where the actual earthquake was. And it wasn't strong, it was only a 4.2, but it was enough to make you perk up your ears and listen to more if more was coming. Throughout the day, we had about 8 more, so I think it was a total of 9 earthquakes during the day. But all right, back to work. Just kind of funny. Anyway, so welcome to California. All right, back to it. Okay, so we're on our last page here, and then we're going to go into something that I don't think a lot of people do, and that is that I tag my photos, because I decided that we're going to put this on Flickr, not on Archive. And when you put it on Flickr, you can tag things. So I wanted to show you this process, which is also good because you can also use it for other things. So what I've done is I've selected all the pictures, all the images, and I put them into Photoshop here. Now what I'm going to do is if you choose File, Select, and then you go to the information, you can go into here and you can put everything you want about the photo. So I can put what it is, who I am, when it was when it's from, copyrighted, when I photoshopped it, all that kind of stuff. So what I put in here is Eudaimonius, that's me. Blue Marble Bounty, that's my search function for my company. I'm putting in the date. I'm putting in some things about it, cakes, decorating, title of the book. Just make sure that you use a semicolon or a comma, and apparently I can't type worth a crap today. So now this is my database. I have a database of my books, and I'm just copying that so I can paste it into here and not have to type it all back out again. I'll have to go back through and put commas between the words and things like that, but no big deal. But once you get all the basic information in here about the project, you can then copy and paste that into each one and just add small things like all of this information is here, but then I can just add gingerbread boy Chase, and then the next one I can just add each little bit about what it is. I find that these tagging for searches in the future are really great, especially on Flickr, since I have, 450,000 pages of books and stuff like that, that I can find recipes, I can find all kinds of stuff. It's very helpful. I'm sure it works on other sites as well. Before there was hashtagging, there is this kind of tagging. It's metadata. That's the word I was looking for. Metadata. It's the metadata in the background. I think it's really worth the time and effort to do it, but I don't have that much time and effort. I do so many pages that sometimes, unless I'm photoshopping it, I post a lot of stuff without photoshopping it just to get it out there so people can see it. But in this case, I'm taking the time and we're building the book completely, because it's not that many pages. I have done other ones. I've done, I think, up to, I don't know, 300 or 500 pages for certain old books, but it just takes time and effort like everything else. Okay, so now I'm copying the data, which I think is going to be transferable to all the pages. You can see the difference there. And then I'm just putting in the descriptor of who I am so people know, or who scanned it or, processed it, whatever. All right, and that one is done. So now it's just a process. I'm just going to go faster and faster here. This is 2 times the speed, doing the same thing, just putting in Animal Parade and Raggedy Andy, or Raggedy Ann, I guess this one is, and anything I can think of to make it unique or searchable. All right, now I'm just speeding up, going faster and faster so you guys understand the process. As I'm going through here, you see that I just saved it all that fast. Just got it done. Okay, so this is my Flickr account. I don't think you can see anything personal here, but this is the download button. Excuse me, the upload button. You click on that, and it brings you back here. And now I'm just going to select all and drag and drop them over there, and then it'll start uploading them. And I can put the tags in myself, or in this case, since we already did the meta tags, oh, sorry, before we get there, I am renaming them so they're not just called scan. So they're going to be named, the book name I give it, the PH number is for my personal records, just so I can search stuff. All right, so we've named everything. Now we're going to drag and drop it over. And as that happens, on the left-hand side, you're going to see all those meta tags are going to show up. Ready, go. Look at them all. look at them all show up. So our effort is good. We did a good thing. Okay, now I'm going to add the title name, which is going to be the album, and I will just copy and paste that. But you can see Flickr has some issues. They've been doing all kinds of stuff lately, but it's not really helping. They just upped their prices too. But $49 unlimited a year is still not bad, especially when you have, 500,000 like I do. Okay, we're still waiting on the Flickr. Now, if you look at the bottom of each little thing there as it goes, there's a little black circle. It's actually got a little spinning thing in there, and it shows you. Okay, so now I'm going to add the file name for the album. Pop it in there, paste, check it out, looks good. And then I will create the album. In the meantime, you can see the second to the last one is uploading. It's a good thing that it does it at the same time. And then I'll say yes, good. It's got a green check mark. Close that. And now everything looks good, so I can just hit upload, verify, upload, and then there it goes. Now the reason it has 15, not 14, is because I have a double page for the first one. All right, now it's publishing it. Also know that this is in, I think, double time speed. And then this is usually where it hangs up, so I'm always nervous when it says publishing. Ah, it worked, adding to the albums, and then it'll give a yeehaw. All right, and now we are on Flickr. So let me just show you what this looks like, And now I'm going to show you, if you go to the Albums tab, what this looks like when it's in an album. It has a cover. There's the albums. Click the album. There you go. Check it out. It's online. It looks great. I'm very happy with that. People who go to my Flickr site, if you want to see it, it's Eudaemonius, Eudaemonius. Love to have you guys follow. If you would like to do some contributions to this, or in your own folder or any other, please let me know. I also have a group on Facebook. So, all right. So now I'm showing you that you can search it. I tried putting in fluffy frosting with Eudaemonius. It didn't like that. So let's just try fluffy frosting. And there you can see the #1 hit is the actual album. There it is again, #1. All the other stuff. The stuff in the top is mine. The other stuff is everybody else's. So I think that's pretty cool about Flickr. It does preserve it nicely. You just have to learn how to use it. So there you go. Very exciting, you guys. All right, let me tell you about the end of this video, and I hope to see you next time.
All right, you guys, now you've seen how you do it. You take this, you clean it, you take it apart, you scan it, you scan it, you scan it, then you Photoshop it. You make sure you have all the pages, because that's important. I can't tell you how many times I've forgotten pages or whatever. Then you Photoshop the heck out of it, and then you're going to make a decision on what you're going to do. You could just post it to your site like that, or you could make a book out of it on archive. I think we'll save that for another video since this one's running long. All right, you guys, I'm Robert Jones. This is StruggleSoup. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something today. If you did, subscribe. Come on back for more. I plan on doing lots more of these types of videos and other things in life that are difficult that people want to learn how to do. So there you go. I'm Robert Jones. Take care, you guys. Talk to you next time. Take care. Bye.